Welcome to Ceph Studio tutorial videos. In this video, I'm going to cover the new image optimization feature that will automatically shrink your images down to a reasonable file size. I will give an example with these two patient files, but first I want to go over the preferences. So if you click onto Ceph Studio, come up to the Ceph Studio menu and go to Preferences. You will be in your Preferences list. Often you will start in General. The optimization or shrinking preferences are under templates because we have extra space down here for them to go. Now, first thing first, you have a choice of shrinking images in legacy files. So this is going to either always shrink images in legacy files without asking, it's going to never shrink images in legacy files without asking, or it will ask us what we want to do. If we have it set to ask and we open up a file, we will be presented with this. And that's our choice, either to shrink images or don't shrink images. And right from this window, we can also click that and then it will follow whichever choice we did. If we shrink images now, it won't ask and it'll shrink images in the future. If we don't shrink images, it won't ask and it won't shrink images in the future. I highly suggest that you give this a try. What we're doing is optimizing the images down to a maximum size of 2400 pixels. That's still larger than a high resolution display. That will still print at a full 8.5 by 11 paper size, full quality. We've introduced this new feature because we found a lot of patient files have photos that are far larger than they need to be. You know, the biggest generally you're ever going to do with these photos is print out a full-size sheet of paper or present them on a presentation. A presentation is never bigger than a HD resolution, and a piece of paper is a lot smaller than how the size that most photos get saved to. So, you know, this is to combat buying a 20 megapixel camera and people just taking those images and not resizing them down to the proper size. So we set 2400 as the standard pixels that it will resize to. So with that set, with this 2400 here, when it asks you if you're going to resize, that's what it's going to do. It's going to size down to 2400 all legacy files. Also, any brand new file that you import is going to size down to 2400 automatically. Do give this a try. I don't think you'll notice a quality difference, and it will do a great file size savings, you know, if you were importing photos that were too big. If you really don't want this to shrink your files at all and you want to disable this altogether, you can set this to never, so it will never ask you and never shrink old files, and you could set this to a higher resolution, you know, maybe anything over 10,000, whatever. Just make it a high number. This means any image that's less than 10,000 pixels in size, you know, one dimension, either width or height, is less than 10,000, then it won't be resized. Almost all pictures should be within that. You know, we have it set to 2400 because that's a good reasonable size. Anything above that we feel should be sized down to 2400. But if you absolutely don't want it to resize anything, you can change that. Before you decide that, though, do give it a try because of this great advantage. Now let's look at these old files. These are just two example files I've had from my years of using the program, and you can see this file is 21 megabytes and this file is 113 megabytes. I made copies of these files right here, same exact size as you can see. So I'm just going to open these and have them resize and then save it. So here, I'm done with the preferences. Let's open this Elizabeth Doe. And this was a legacy file, so it should prompt me. Oh, let's go look at my preferences. I have this set to never. Put it to ask. So let me do that again. Let me open Elizabeth Doe. And now it's going to ask, I want to shrink images in this case. And you're going to see it's going to show me the file saving. I got about 10 megabytes of saving I saw. So I'm going to close and save. And I'm going to save back locally. I'm in integration mode with Office, so it was asking me where I want to save it. But you can look, it was 21 megabytes before. Now it's 10 megabytes, half the file size. That's a huge savings. That's well worth doing. Let's look at this 113 megabyte file. If we open this one, it's going to ask, we want to shrink the images down. We're getting a lot of file savings here. What, 70, around 70 megabytes of file savings. So we're going to close, we're going to save. We're going to save this one locally as well. And there you go. Look, it went from a 113 megabyte file to a 40 megabyte file. I mean, that's more than twice the file size in savings. So we really felt we've just seen so many of these files with extra large photos, photos that are much larger than they actually need to be. So we felt this was a good way to bring the photos into a more reasonable size. It still provides plenty of quality, and it's going to save a lot of hard drive space. Not only will this save hard drive space, but especially if you're working with integration or if you store these files across the network, having smaller file sizes will make opening and saving those files go quicker as well. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or need anything, please feel free to give us a call or email us. All right, thank you.